show that tackles the big issues affecting the BVI and the rest of the Caribbean. Searches for answers to today's big questions and gives viewers a unique perspective on developing stories. Follow the big story with me, Kathy Richards, only on GTV. This show is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Ramney Tertola Pier Park, HOV Medical, and Digicel. Sign up for Digicel Plus Home Light bundles, faster internet, movies, and sports. This is The Big Story. I'm Kathy Richards. I want to thank you so much for joining us for this edition. In studio with me is someone you'll see looking really glamorous, all decked out in pink, and we're here to talk about something that is so dear to our heart. There's Miss Sasha Richards. I want to welcome you to The Big Story.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Kathy.
Nice to have you looking all so glammed up.
Thank you.
A special statement today?
Yes.
What that statement says?
This has a Pink Riding Hood Caution Edition.
Caution edition, nice. All right, and so to give some premise to what we're going to be talking about today in your space of what you do, I recall that just over the weekend we were at the Royal Retreat in Vortingorda. We heard someone give a testimony as to how comfortable and different the experience she would have had as it relates to getting her lashes done. We have so many lash techs, we call them, in the territory, and sometimes people are like, how all of these women are having this as a viable business. But one thing, the school of thought is that there is a space for everyone in any specific field. It's all about how you approach it. But before we discuss that topic, I want persons to hear exactly what that person testified and said at that retreat. And she is reigning Mrs. BVI Globe, Tanika Arta.
I was given a privilege to have my lashes done by the beautiful Sasha. And let me tell you, she poured a lot of positivity in me that day. I did not expect that. I walked in a room just to get my lashes done and left so relaxed, so excited to go to China because of Sasha, right? But Sasha asked me a very important question. She asked me why I chose this journey of Mrs. BVI and why mental wellness. I remember pausing for a few, and I gave her a response, which I wanted to be a voice for other women.
All right, and so you remember that so clearly. Yes. So for those who don't know much about you, tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Okay, well, my name is Caution. So my whole brand is off of different branches with the name. However, my name is Caramel Caution, but I do lash extension as well as I'm a fashion designer.
So tell us how you got into one, fashion designing, and then the whole lash business.
Okay, so you ever heard of Summer Sizzle?
Yes.
So I did Summer Sizzle years ago. I was one of the emerging designers. So I did that, and then there was some people from St. Thomas who saw my work, and they invited me to do this kind of like design competition. So they had different designers from different states, and I won. I swept the whole thing.
Wow.
Yes, Beyonce's father was there, and he had a group called Blush at the time. So they wanted me to design the clothes for them. However, California had the fire the wildfire thing, so we lost contact. So I took a little break off of it and refreshed myself, so I tapped into lash extensions. So I said I was going to do that, and then when I'm ready, then I will come with my fashion line, and I'm here.
Oh, okay. Tell us a little bit about you and your experience in lash extension. You do it differently. The first person I saw with these well-decorated lashes, I think it was Aliyah. It was at the Girls Up event that was held at Cedar, and she had a beautiful story to tell about her lashes, and she has been a brand ambassador for you.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about you and doing lashes.
So there's a traditional way of how they teach lashes, which would be classics, hybrids, volume, etc. However, when you book with me, you would never really see those styles. I specialize in custom sets, which mean I create a lash style customized to your shape of eyes. Everybody eyes shape different, they have different lashes for eyes, so I specialize in that. So the only pro and con with me is I don't do nothing over again at all. So if I do this set, it's just one of a kind.
Oh, nice. But going back now to what we heard Tanika said about when she lie on that table, when you are doing her lashes, that experience of what you do, how you deal with your customers. Tell us a little bit about that, your passion for being a voice for persons.
Okay, so I lash in about 9 years now, and it's more than lashing for me. I'm like those girls' friends, the counselor, etc. So I really like care about my clients very much. So normally with whatever problems that they might talk to me about, I would give them activities or advice that would help them to make better decisions or look at things from a different perspective. Because of that, they call me the lash therapist. So they used to be like, Sasha, you need to like help other girls with this hair, etc. on a more bigger scale. So after a few of them keep telling me that, I say, okay, no problem. So I thought of the idea to create my self-love book.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So my beauty brand is focused on inner and outer beauty. However, while I travel to different islands and states while I was lashing, the one that hurt my heart the most is our own, the BVI women. The way how they look at themselves, the way how they feel they dissolve, you know, and they need a bit more guidance or somebody to help them along the way, including myself, but you know, whatever knowledge that you would know, that you will extend it to others.
And so that has propelled you to do so much. And I've had the experience lying on your bed there, and it was the same, you know, by the time I got out of them, like reconsidering a number of things, checking out something, doing some soul searching, and taking in a lot of those advice, which also led us to say, hey, Sasha, come be a speaker at the Royal Retreat in Virgin Gorda. And that also has led you into a collaboration that would push even more your brand and what you're looking to do. So tell us, come May the 18th, what you're about to do.
So May 18th, I have a mink and mimosa. So it's basically like a sip and shop event, but however is mimosa tasting. So while you're going around, there will be limited edition pieces. So that would mean that I only bring in one and specifically for you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Give us a little more details. How do I participate in this? How this whole system work and how it pivots over to what will be happening on the same day with WinBVI?
So at that time, you're going to be $50 for the ticket. So you're going to have the mimosas and a little food to eat, and you will have $25 worth shopping bag. So you would take your shopping bag and walk around and get samples of different stuff like skincare, health stuff. I have everything outside of just lash and beauty.
And during that period also you'll be doing some mentorship, you're having little talks and all of that with the women?
Yes. So my book, the self-love book, is a 30-day book that you have to dedicate yourself to. However, at the event, I will give you a pamphlet that you know how you'd have like a 3-day free trial.
Yeah.
So I put it in a way where you could read it and then you will know from then, but the ebook would be available that day.
Oh, okay. Arts is like a launch to that.
Yes.
Are you catering for a specific amount of persons to be there, and where will it be?
I looking at probably like 50. I like intimate. Just like how you book an appointment with me, you can book to come and shop. So within 30 minutes, I will speak to you. I'll show you around. You'll have a personal shopping bestie as well. So it's a whole nice, different experience. But it's there to educate yourself, as well as all the proceeds that doing at the event. I want to create mommy kits.
Okay.
So what I want to do is package baby items. So persons can come with baby items to contribute as well, but I would like to make packages for mothers in need.
Okay, and those are what you're going to be donating to Winby VI for that program?
Yes.
All right. Okay, this really sounds interesting. And there is more that you're planning. You want to share some bits of what you have to come further?
Okay, so I'm going, after the book drop, we're going to have 3 events. So we're going to have the Minka Mimosa, which is the first one. Then in June, I'm going to have a self-care seminar. That's where we'll more talk about routine, taking care of themselves, etc., working on our inner and outer beauty, as well as tapping into self-reflection, because that's the first part of my book, because it's going to be in series. Of course, self-reflection mirror, it matches with the whole beauty vibe, but they will also learn to put on their makeup as well, and we will have like a fashion segment, like what's appropriate to wear with business, etc.
Okay. Some people must like, okay, there got to be a background to all of this. A real reason why Sasha is going out doing all of this when she could just sit down there, book her clients, and make her money and keep it moving. What is that personal experience of yours that is propelling you to do so much to help better the lives of women?
Well, I feel like we are a bit lost, women in our generation as well, and it have like gatekeeping. Within the men community, you know, like the older men and the younger men, they will talk and conversate and pass down the game to each other. However, with older women and younger women, there is a disconnect. Of course, sometimes the younger women don't listen, but we need that. So that expression and exchange towards each other is very important. So just like the skincare seminar, I'm going to call it Unwind. So I would like older women on one side of the table and younger women on the other side of the table, and again have it set up like a speed dating. So for example, if marriage is important to you as a young lady, you would then have like your 10 questions relating to that. That's your goal. How are you going to get it? What's the truth about it? Because when we're young, they paint the idea like, okay, you should get married and that should be like the highest accomplishment for a woman, but you never hear the story after. What happens when you really get married? Is it really glitz and glamour? What it is I have to do? What does it entail? And if marriage is a goal for you, I like to ask all my clients, then why are you casual dating?
Why you choose to ask that particular question?
Because you have to do things that align with your goal. So if you want to be a wife, you know, busting it open in the club or meeting somebody at that day, or they have friends with benefits or situationships, that's not going to lead you to where it is you want to do.
But there are cases where people would say, hey, I met my husband on the dance floor, and I had a situationship one time, and that situationship turned into a relationship, and then a family situation. We're married, we have kids.
But that's the exception.
There's the exception to the rule, but yeah.
you still align yourself same way. You can end up getting married, yes, if that's the goal, but do you embody what's a wife? That's the difference. Anybody could get married. It don't matter how we meet, etc. But do you embody what it is you want to represent? You have to align.
Awesome. And Sasha, you have a beautiful background to all of this coming to play for you, and I know you're open to telling a little bit of your story because we heard some of it the other day. What you care to share a little bit, the girl Sasha growing up that would have led her to be who she is now.
So, when I was younger, I used to be considered overconfident. Or, like, you see how I dress? Oh, she always over it. I couldn't understand it when I was in high school, especially when it is like I would walk in a room and then my confidence is irritating other people in the room. I couldn't fathom to understand, like, what's the issue. However, when I get older, I understand that a lot of people project. You're unhappy with yourself. You're insecure. So instead of watching me, or it don't have to be me, somebody else, and you'll be like, oh, I like your hair. Like, extending kindness is like so rare, and people isn't even genuine anymore. And everybody's stuck in like a competition. Why it is you can see something or somebody you like and more be inspired instead of being jealous and envious. So I feel like we have a lot of that in the BVA, and we like to enjoy people's downfall. When it's something positive, nobody have nothing to say.
So how did you maneuver that atmosphere, being, you know, grudge, being envied? How did you maneuver that to be so self-confident?
So the funny thing is, I'm actually more accustomed to walking in a room and could expect that 9 out of 10 people wouldn't like me just off of how I present myself. So that's the sad thing. And then that way you don't really have much genuine connections. They're going to be friends who might befriend you because they like how you are genuinely. And then it got those who hate it underneath. I would never know. Then that's how you would get into all kind of problems. They would sit and want to hear what you gotta say and spread it or twist it. So I was like, what it is I could do that could help these girls? And I just think on it. I was like, if I could probably help them to love themselves, like probably the way that I love myself, then it should be better. Because if you love yourself, you could stand up next to somebody, even if you have like a red dress and I have all of this on, you shouldn't feel uncomfortable next to me at all. You should feel comfortable. You should love who you are. You should be everything in your mind. You don't need the validation from others. And I feel like a lot of people is tied up in that.
And that is where you kept yourself together with that consciousness. Some people might want to say, why this girl don't go and do psychology? She don't belong in a Lash Tech room, or anyway. She needs to be in some counseling session room where you've been a therapist for people. Have you ever thought?
Well, yes, because when I was in college, I double major in psychology and small business. However, like most women, I end up pregnant. So I didn't finish school, but I had a big dream. And I didn't like stop right there. I said, I want to help women and especially family. That's very important to me, family. So when I look at the dynamic of how family is in the BVI, it's very heartbreaking. Like, you would see brother and sister fighting each other over land, animosity. You don't even know that that's your family member there. And then somebody don't have to be family for you to care, to be genuine, to extend kindness.
It's such a beautiful conversation. I know there is so much more of you to come, but I really truly admire this pink today. I didn't expect this. I'm not one of those who are envious here right now. I really admire your look, but more than that, your personality, your drive to be an ambassador for other women and to be that person to say, hey, I know I ain't got no degree in this or a degree in that, but this little brain of mine God has given me and blessed me in so many ways that I could share and help empower other women. And I really truly admire that with you and look forward to a very successful event. For those who may have missed it, you want to quickly run back for us the dates, the time, what to do, what not to do for this event come May 18th.
Okay, so May 18th, you could come with any shade of pink.
Okay.
Because pink is part of my brand. So you will come in pink. It also represents us tapping into our femininity. So I would like for everybody to be more open-minded for change, because the first part is called self-reflection. If you want to work on yourself, as everybody should want to be a better person, if you struggle with self-reflection, you're not self-aware. And if you're not self-aware, you don't hold yourself accountable. At the end of the day, you're very disconnected from reality and what's in your mind. So I would like to take it step by step with the ladies, or even men as well could be open to it. But I'm hoping that if I could help fix or extend an olive branch to the women so we could become better, then the men will follow. After the men follow, we have better fathers, we have better mothers, we have better family.
Awesome. All right. And so that's the objective of May 18, and it's going to be right here in Fish Bay. Give some directions. I'm not very good at directing. No.
So if you know the new warehouse where downstairs have stores like VI Inc., Create BVI, Beauty Box, or Mellow Moods, I'm upstairs in Unit 12.
Okay. All right. And then speaking of, it's lovely. She's been doing some work there. I happened to peep in. And so, Sasha, thank you so much for stopping by, sharing, and also adding this glam to the set today, which we really, really love. And look forward to hearing of the success of this initiative and those that you have coming. I want to thank you so much for the pleasure of your time for joining us here on this edition of The Big Story. I'm Kathy Richards.
Large and small corporations in the BVI can't be wrong. Bovi HR, a BVI-based integrated solution of employee timesheets, leave tracking, scheduling, employment letters, HR processes, pay slips, and tax reports, including NHI, Social Security, and Inland Revenue, will make your management of employees easier. While Bovi HR can cater to the needs of larger enterprises, it also works exceptionally well for small companies. To sign up, visit bovihr.com, that is BOVIHR.com, or call us at 342-9686.